human ships and the fleets of the Cathay Empire clashed again and again across the silent dark. Planets trembled beneath the thunder of engines and the blaze of weapons. Neither side could truly defeat the other. Humans refused to surrender. The Cathay refused to retreat. Last, the Council of the Empire chose a different path. Peace through union, a marriage between Princess Alira of the Cathay and a human representative. Not a king, not a general, just one man chosen by Earth to stand. For their strange young species, his name was Daniel Hayes de Cathay. Expected a fragile creature, humans were small compared with most galactic powers. Their ships were crude, their technology direct and loud, and sometimes reckless. Cathay warriors were tall, elegant beings with silver skin and luminous eyes. Their strength came from centuries of refined biology and perfect discipline. Yet humans had survived every battle. Princess Alira stood upon the white floor of the Imperial Hall as the human arrived. The chamber was vast and shaped like a blooming crystal flower. Thousands of nobles watched from rising balconies. Tall armored guards lined the walls. The human walked in wearing a simple dark uniform, no crown, no armor, no display of rank. Daniel Hayes looked around the hall with calm eyes. He bowed his head slightly toward the Princess Alira, studied him carefully. He was shorter than her by nearly half a head. His frame looked lean rather than powerful. His face carried the marks of long space travel and long battles. This was the creature her empire had failed to break. Her voice moved through the chamber like quiet music. Human Daniel Hayes, you have been chosen to unite our peoples. This union will end the war and bind our futures together. Do you accept this? Duty. Daniel lifted his head. Yes, Princess, I accept. A murmur flowed through the chamber. Some nobles were pleased. Others were offended. The war faction of the Empire stood together in one balcony. Their leader was High Commander Veric, a massive Cathay warrior whose armor carried the scars of 100 victorious. Veric stepped forward from the balcony rail. Princess Alira, this union is weakness. Humans are stubborn, but they are still primitive. We should not bind royal blood to such a species. The chamber grew. Tense. Alira turned slowly. Commander Veric, the council has spoken. Veric did not retreat then. Allow me to test the strength of this human before we give him the honor of standing beside our princess. Whispers rose everywhere. Daniel remained still. Veric continued, if he is worthy, then he should prove it before the Empire. Commander walked down into the center of the hall. Each step rang like a hammer strike. He stopped 10 paces from Daniel. Alira watched carefully. What test do you propose? Commander Varick pointed toward a massive pillar of black metal near the center of the hall. It supported part of the palace ceiling and weighed thousands of tons. The pillar was forged from star steel, one of the strongest materials. Nomvarek spoke proudly among the Cathay. This pillar is used to test the strength of our warriors. Only the greatest champions can move it even slightly. He looked down at Daniel. If the human can push the pillar 1 hand span, then I will accept the union. Laughter spread among many nobles. Even Alira felt doubt. The pillar had defeated countless warriors. Only 3 in the history of the Empire had moved. Daniel looked at the pillar, then at Veric, then back at the pillar. He shrugged lightly. Sure. The chamber fell quiet. Daniel walked slowly toward the pillar. The metal surface rose above him like a tower. Several nobles leaned forward with amused expressions. Humans were curious creatures. Perhaps this one believed courage alone could move star steel. Daniel placed his hand against the cold black surface for a moment. Nothing happened. Dvorak crossed his arms. Then Daniel spoke calmly. Quick question. Yes. Veric answered as the pillar anchored to the floor. Vorik frowned. Of course. It is anchored. Daniel nodded slowly. All right, he stepped back, rolled his shoulders once, then planted both feet against the smooth white floor. He pushed hat first, the pillar did not move. Several nobles smirked, then the floor beneath Daniel cracked deep. Grinding sound echoed through the hall, the pillar shifted just a little, then more gasps filled the chamber. Daniel leaned forward harder. Muscles in his arms and back tightened like steel cables. The pillar moved another few centimeters. Star steel screamed against the anchors beneath the floor. The sound was so loud it vibrated through the palace walls. Varric stared in disbelief. Human pushed again. The pillar slid across the floor, leaving a deep scar in the white stone. Daniel finally stepped back. Pillar had moved nearly half a meter. Silence crushed the hall. No one spoke, no one moved. The greatest warriors of the empire had struggled for years to shift the pillar even a fraction. This human had done it in seconds, without armor, without ceremony, without even appearing. Angry Princess Alira felt something strange rise in her chest. Not fear, something deeper, respect. Daniel dusted his hands. Casually sorry about the floor, he said. The silence broke into stunned whispers. Varric slowly walked toward the pillar. His hand touched the torn stone beneath. Eth turned back toward Daniel, tilted his head. You want me to move? Varric shook his head. That pillar weighs more than a heavy cruiser. Injun Daniel smiled. Slightly, humans come from a world with strong gravity. We get used to lifting things. More whispers, more astonished face. Cialera stepped forward. Human. Daniel Hayes. Daniel looked toward her. Yes, princess. Her voice held quiet. Wonder why did you agree to this marriage? Daniel thought for a moment, then he answered honestly. Because war is expensive, and peace is better. A few nobles chuckled. Nervously Daniel continued, but also because humans believe something simple: strength should protect, not conquer. We fought your empire because we had to survive. Now we can build something better. The hall listened closely. Daniel looked around the chamber. We do not want your worlds. We do not want your throne. We just want a future where our children do not grow up learning how to fight each other. Words settled across the chamber like calm sunlight after a storm. Varric slowly lowered his head. Princess Alira watched Daniel with new understanding. This human species had confused the galaxy for decades. They built clumsy ships, yet defeated elegant fleets. They lacked ancient wisdom, yet adapted faster than any civilization. And now she saw the truth: humans carried quiet strength, not the polished strength of empires, but the raw, stubborn strength of Servi. Valiella stepped closer to Daniel. Her silver eyes met his steady gaze, then she raised her voice to the chamber. Let the empire witness this. Human has shown strength greater than pride, and wisdom greater than conquest. She extended her hand toward him. Daniel Hayes, will you stand beside me as partner in peace between our worlds? Daniel looked at her hand, then he placed his own within it. Yes, princess. The chamber remained silent for several heartbeats. Then slowly one noble began to clap, then another, then another. Soon the entire hall thundered with applause. Knelt deeply before them. The war had ended, not with destruction, not with surrender, but with one quiet display of strength that left an empire speechless. And from that day forward, across the stars, a simple story spread: never underestimate humans, because sometimes the strongest force in the galaxy is the one that does not need to shout at all.